In this video, we're going to talk about free products, what they are, should you be accepting them as creators, press trips, all of that stuff, based off of my experience with a channel of almost 100,000 subscribers. Let's get into it. What's up, y'all? Tight Shirts here, Warford. I'm back for another video. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Remember to be thankful for your freaking life today because you did not have to have that. If you need a reminder of how blessed you are, just turn on the news and look around the world to see all of the people that are in famine, that can't eat, that don't have clean water, or none of that stuff. You are so blessed even when you don't realize it. A couple things before we get on with the meat and potatoes. I don't know what's going on outside. If y'all hear those ambulances, that's number one. Number two, I did not script this video. This is all off the top of the head. Number three, y'all always ask me every video what camera I'm using, what's the setup. That will all be linked in the description and pinned comment. And also the music, all of that stuff is from Artlist. I will talk about them later in this video, although this is not sponsored by them. I just love them. I use them every video. Should you take free products as a creator? That's what we need to talk about. I do want to say that this is only my opinion. This is not law. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. You know how that saying goes. Hopefully I got it right. I could only speak from my experience. That means that although I'm giving you this advice and this information, that it's still up to you to figure out how it works the best for you. Okay. Also, the reason I'm making this video is because I wish this information was available when I got started. I wish somebody was on here telling the truth. So hopefully it's not taken the wrong way or taken out of context and you receive it, and hopefully you take something from this video. I want to start off with why brands send products to people in the first place. And this might sound stupid, but it's fundamental. And I feel like it's a big point that a lot of people miss. Okay. If a brand, I'm going to use this little blower right here, right? In the old days, if they wanted to promote this, they would have to spend a ton of money to run an ad campaign across TV and probably get a very small percentage of return in relation to the money that they spent, right? Well, things are changing like literally right in front of us if you cannot see it. Everything, and I mean everything, is shifting towards influencer marketing. Terry, what the hell is that? Okay, here's an example. I'm a camera company, right? And there's a creator that has an audience of 100,000 people, and he talks about cameras. Okay, that to me is a direct sales channel. You want to know why? Because the people who subscribed to him, okay, when people subscribe, it means they're interested. They want more about what you're talking about, what you do, and who you are. They subscribe, which means these people must be interested in the thing he talks about. And if he talks about cameras and I'm a camera company, that is a direct sales channel to them, okay? This is why influencer marketing is such a big thing. So whether you like it or not, whether you embrace it or not, it is the way of the world. And it is why content creators like myself and a ton of other content creators across different niches, different platforms can make so much money, is because they have a direct sales channel and they're willing to pay for it because they understand that the return of investment is going to be a whole lot higher, targeting an audience, targeting a demographic of people who are very, very likely to buy what I company am selling. Hope that all made sense. Okay. Now, with that said, let's talk about free products, because there's a narrative online that we get everything for free. I hear it in my everyday life. Oh, you get so many free cameras. You get so many free this or free that. And my question is, if it was free, why don't you have one? See, we're adults, and y'all should know at this point that nothing in this world comes free. Everything has a cost, and cost does not always mean the exchange of money. Cost sometimes means the exchange of value, the exchange of morals, all of that other good stuff. Okay. So when you say, hey, you got that for free, what you have to understand is if it was free, everybody would have one. Free implies that, hey, you can take this. There's no obligation. There's no attachment. There's no expectation of return. There's no exchange of anything. This is yours. Case closed. Well, that's not how this works. If these products were free, we would all have one. The reality is the companies will only send the product to a creator who has an audience, and that is the key. And that's why it's not free, because it is an exchange of value. It might not be an exchange of money. It's an exchange of value. They're sending a product because they want access to something. Now, again, I've spent years, y'all, years of tons of hard work and hours and sweat and blood, sweat and tears and dedication and all of them adjectives you can use, right? I've put in the work. I've built up an audience And I'm not saying I have a super audience or that I'm better than anybody, but I have almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have 29,000, close to 30 on Instagram and other networks, Facebook, 90,000. Like, I've built up a platform and companies want access to it. Going back to why we talked about in the first place, they want something out of it. So this is not free. If it was free, everybody would have one. Okay. With that said, a product does not always equal payment. And this is another theme I see all the time. Okay. If a company wants me to make a video about a product, guess what I need? I need the freaking product. Okay. So just because you send me a product does not mean that I got paid. The only time that that is a payment to me is if a company says, hey, here's a product. We're willing to do a video for you in exchange. We're willing to send you the product in exchange for you making the video. Okay. They're specifically saying, hey, this is an exchange of value. And I would only accept that if it's something that I wanted. For example, when the Mavic 3 Pro Cine came out, I really wanted that drone. So when DJI said, hey, the only thing we could do is offer a product exchange for the drone, I had to make a decision. Either I want to tell them, no, you need to come with some money, or I'm willing to accept that as a form of payment. But unless I made that decision, you have to send me that product for me to make the video. So there's a line in the middle of that you have to think about before you say that on if the product was quote unquote free or not, and if that was a form of payment. Because if I didn't want that, you still have to pay me on top of sending me the product that I need to make the video. I hope that makes sense. Let's move on to talk about press trips. Okay. And by the way, if you like this video so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified when new videos go up, because we are almost at 100,000 subscribers. And I would love for you to join us on to press trips, because this has been a huge thing over the last 2 years. Everybody has literally doodled in their pants about it. Okay. Are press trips payment? That's number one. Number two, do press trips create bias in the videos that are created? Okay. So the first thing is, are press trips payment? It goes back to the same idea that we just talked about. I don't care if a company comes and says, hey, we want to fly you to Africa to go be with the elephants and lions and all that other stuff. Well, okay, because you probably got something coming out. So that means that you want me to come there to do something for you. And you only want me to come there to do something for you because you want access to my audience. Okay, so again, same idea. If the trip was free, we would all be invited. And that's not the case. The companies invite creators because they want access to the audience. At the end of the day, them spending money to get me there, they know at the end of the day, they're going to get some type of promotion out of it, whether it's agreed upon or not, whether we actually promote the product or not. Just us being there, just our audience saying, hey, we're here with this company is enough to make people look at it. And from a company perspective, they know that that equals at the end of the day, dollars in the pocket. Okay. So the thing is, if I didn't want to go there, that's not a payment to me. Same principle we just talked about. If that's not a trip I wanted, or if I never wanted to go there, that is not a payment. All right. If it was something I wanted to do and they said, hey, okay, we have this trip coming up, we would like to fly you out in exchange for you making X, Y, and Z, then I have a choice to make. Do I want to accept that as a payment to get there? And 9 times out of 10, that answer is no. Okay. So with that being said, is it a payment? To me, it's not. Maybe the way you look at it is different, but I don't consider that a payment. All right. If you want me to come there and make dedicated content, guess what? Unless it's voluntary and I do it, then you need to pay me on top of bringing me there also. Does the trip create bias? And this one is a difficult question to answer because it also depends on the creator, right? The first thing is, personally for me, and I'll speak for me, I think I'm able to do a very good job with separating the hype of going somewhere exotic from my analysis of X, Y, and Z product. And I'm sorry if I'm stumbling over words again. This is all off the top of the head. So like, sure, I'm happy to be here, but I'm not going to overlook the flaws or anything else that I discover in my process of creating content for said product me being there doesn't change that. Right now, I can't speak for everybody. There are some people that might just simply glaze it because they're riding the hype train of, hey, I'm here. This is the best product ever. Right. Well, I can't speak for everybody else. For me, I don't do that. Like, for example, when we went to Japan for the Lumix S9, sure, I was stoked to be in Japan. Like, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't want to go there? Right. But that didn't change the fact that, hey, this camera has problems. And I said that stuff while I was in Japan. And when the video came out, you heard all of those things. So I'm here enjoying Japan, happy to be here. Like, so I had a hell of a time both times, right? But that doesn't take me out of the, it doesn't create, in my opinion, for myself. And if I'm wrong, you can tell me. I'm not perfect, but I try my best to make sure that I always draw that line, right? Now, could it create bias for others? Sure, it might, but I'm speaking on me. The other thing is, like, a lot of times when you watch it, you read these narratives online, you really have to put some thinking into it, right? A lot of creators like myself, we talk about products as we use them. There's other creators out there like Gerald who will stick a camera inside of a freaking microwave and let it run for 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Just to see how, like, the thermal limits of the camera. Well, Tight Shirt Terry doesn't test like that. Okay, I use the camera how I use it in everyday life. So example, when the S1R Mark II came out and we were in Norway, it was, temperate. It was still in the 50s in Norway. And everybody said, oh, you guys hid the fact that the camera overheats. Well, no, we didn't experience the overheating until we got back. And summertime came along and we started to put it in more serious elements. And we found out that, hey, the camera does suffer from some pretty significant overheating. But the reason you didn't hear about that at the beginning is because, well, we simply didn't experience it at the beginning. Again, you have some people that go out and test every single thing. You have creators like myself who are more so trying to bring you into the world of how do I use this and how did this product work out for me in my testing. So it's very important that before you go and make these huge generalizations that you look around, do your research and all that other good stuff. With that said, if a company were to come back and say, hey, Terry, we want to fly you to somewhere else, you think I'm not going to take the trip? Absolutely. But to me, the trip is not a form of payment. Thanks for bringing me. I'm really excited to be here, but I'm not guaranteeing anything unless I want to, right? And I've taken trips where I haven't talked about anything, right? So anytime I go somewhere, it's because I want to genuinely talk about whatever it is that the company is releasing. So the last thing I want to talk about is you as a creator, and I'm going to speak to new creators and seasoned creators also. Should you be taking quote unquote free products? Although we debunked the frick out of that word, should you take them? And this is the part where I wish that somebody would have had this conversation with me early. And the first thing I want to bring up is knowing your value and the way companies exploit the lack of knowing your value when you're new. Okay. And whether it's intentional or not, I don't know. When you first get started as a creator, you don't know your value. It's the same thing with anything. When you first get started in anything, you don't know how valuable you are. And a lot of creators fall into this trap. I fell into this trap when I first got started. Oh, I'm making these videos now. And at the beginning, I wish I could work with this company or that company. And then I'm making videos that, oh my God, I got an email from them. You gotta be kidding me. I made it. All of my hard work is paying off. Like, all of the dopamine just rushes in at that point. And you like automatically, yes. I'll take whatever products you send me. I'll make the reviews because I get to work with X, Y, and Z company. It's the wrong mentality. And let me explain why it's the wrong mentality. Because anytime a company reaches out to you to offer you a review of their product, okay, it is not a prize. It is not, it might have been a trophy for you, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a trophy. If a company's sending you a product, it's because they want something out of you. And if you don't understand your value, as most new creators don't, they want something out of you for free. And they know that you're going to give it to them for free because you don't know your value. Now, there is a fine line in this, right? Because there are some times where a product might help you blow your channel up. Like a new camera's coming out and this company wants to send it to you early. You're looking at it like, man, if I review this and I run a train on this product, that I could get a whole lot of subscribers and growth out of it. If that is an exchange you want, That's fine. Don't let me tell you don't take a product. If you think that product is going to help you, or if they're offering you the product and it's something that you really, really wanted, do it, because we all did it. But at the same time, you have to understand that anytime a company reaches out to you to send you something, it's because you have a likeness, an image, a channel, something that they want access to. And that comes at a cost. You wouldn't, if you were a painter and somebody came to you saying, I want a painting, wouldn't you charge them for it? Unless it's some type of exchange you want, unless you want to build a relationship with this person or something like that, yes, you would charge it for it. So what I'm saying is, like, when companies reach out to you, it's because they want your likeness and your image. And that is something that is tangible. That is something that should cost, because you are the only one that can provide that. You are a commodity. Commodities are never free. Listen to what I'm saying. Commodities are never free. And I'm not saying that that always has to be an exchange of money. But if you're going to take a product, you need to look at it and say, how is this benefiting me? And is it benefiting me, in my opinion, more than it's benefiting the company? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. So when do you cross the line of when you can start charging a company for your likeness and your image? Well, from day one. Okay, I'm not saying at the beginning that you can fetch large amounts, but when you are starting out, I don't want you to have the idea, and Cody Weiner said this best, that I'm a small creator. Absolutely not. If a company is coming to you and they won't like that I'm telling you this, and I'm okay with that, because I'm for y'all. If they're coming to you saying, hey, we got a new product, we want you to, congratulations, you get to review our product. You need to look at that situation and say, how am I going to benefit from this? Because if the majority of the benefit is on their end, you got to think about it. You're going to make the content. They're going to use the content. They're going to share the content. They might run your content as ads because you don't know any better, then they're getting far more return out of it than you are. Okay. The only time I suggest taking products would be if it's something that you truly want, something that has a huge benefit to you, like blowing up an audience or helping grow your audience, or it's something that you are going to buy anyways and you don't want to spend the money. Otherwise, do not be afraid to know your worth and say, hey, if you want me to make a dedicated video for said product, here is my rate. Whether it's an Instagram post, whether it's a YouTube video, whether it's a TikTok, this is my channel. I understand that even if I only have an audience of 1,000 people, guess what? Looks like you want access to that 1,000 people. So we need to have a conversation about how much I'm being compensated, and not only by your product, unless I accept that the product is worth a payment to me. Otherwise, no, you need to send me the product, because for me to make the video, kind of need it. And then we could talk about how much money you're going to pay me to use my likeness, to use my image, and for me to basically put on a promo for you. Okay. So with all of those things being said, again, these are just my opinions. These are not law. I strongly encourage you to go listen to other creators and start asking other creators like, yo, X, Y, and Z, or did you this, or should I this? Like, this is only my opinion. I can only share what has worked for me up until this point. And obviously it's been a growth and learning process. I haven't got everything right. I have made mistakes. I've probably burned a couple bridges I didn't mean to, probably pissed off some companies I didn't mean to, and I probably missed out on some opportunities because of my lack of knowledge in X, Y, and Z subjects. But hopefully the information I gave you in this video was enough to at least get the cogs turning, to get the thoughts turning on finding your value as a creator, free products, all that stuff, the whole shebang. And I'll probably miss some stuff. Again, this was all off the top of the head. Anyways, music, everything that you see in this video is from Artlist. I use them for every single video, whether it's their music, their sound effects, their plugins, their AI voiceover. The AI just got a huge bump with freaking Nano Banana. I don't know if you ever seen it, but now you can use multiple images to like combine, and you know, it does like text to image and voice to image, and it can retain what you said before and all this other crazy stuff. Anyways, if you want to test it out, there's a link in the comment section and the description for you to get 2 months free on the annual plan if you decide that you want to stick around with it. Anyways, again, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. Please join me. I've been putting them on the screen the entire video, and let me know what you think about this video. Until next time, I'm out of here. Tight shirt, Terry Warfield. Piece of chicken grease. I'm out, y'all. Much love. Peace.